Or welcome back, and wherever you are across New Zealand, I hope you're going to spend the next couple of hours with us here on Māori Television. Live coverage of Bartercard Cup 2007. It's the Titans up against the Orcas, and the backlines of both teams chock-a-block full of young players looking to prove.
Absolutely, with the Tamaki Titan, James Blackwell and Willie Heta both scoring 8 tries this season, so they'll be vital in today's match. But there's no real try-scoring wizards in the backline for the Wellington Orcas, so that will be a key today's match, and all eyes will be on Hayden Magali.
Yeah, James Blackwell, of course, a very talented finisher and a scintillating runner from the back. Tawara Nico to the forwards.
Yeah, certainly is going to be tough up front. Sione Nuila, Aaron Pauly, who was in outstanding form last week for the Tamaki Titans, and Isaac Leava, the captain of the Tamaki Titans, will give them some good foundation. But looking over at the Orcas, Hayden Davis, Nathan McNamara comes in and hook, and Patrick Matalino, Troy Nico, Ben Matalino, and James Wala is the young forward pack from the Wellington Orcas.
Here we go to the bench, and a good bench here for the Titans too. Richie Johnston's a very good impact player when he's used by Dean Clark. Freddie Turuwhenua, the Tūhoa Express, he does well. Caleb Dilworth and Jason Toe. Carnegie, Buchanan, Masi Masoi, Willie Kortua make up the bench for the Orcas. And Paul Bergman has done a fine job with these predominantly young fellas from Wellington, and we're looking forward to seeing them out on the field as well. Tawara Nico, we spoke about the kicking game, its importance, and playing cleverly with the top 2 inches. It would seem silly to have them camped down your end of the park if the wind favours you and you can drill it downfield.
Well, certainly you want to play within the conditions and to the conditions, and that's something whoever gets used to that wind in the first half will have some advantage behind them. But Richie, you're wearing a green armband today. What's all that about, mate?
Yeah, that's drug-free sport, strong enough to be clean and green. So we're certainly against the drugs in sport. So definitely all
Wellington
for that.
Players have done something.
Wellington players will be wearing the green bands in today's match in support of drug-free and clean green in the game of rugby league.
I think it's a great thing, and it's not just our code that is getting into this one. Strong enough to be clean, and I think it's it's a good initiative.
It certainly is. And don't forget, coming up this week, Tuesday, Boil Up, 10 p.m. on Māori Television. And I heard you made a guest appearance on Homai Te Maki last night, Dale. Is that right?
Yeah, I did, mate, and they'll be looking forward to having one or t'other or all of the whole commentary team in there. One day we could get up and do an old Waitu. What do you think we'd sing if we did get in there?
Oh, I don't know, mate, but I'm going to be singing the praises of these players out on the field that are coming out from the Tamaki Titans.
He'll be in singing Who Ate the Pies.
The Wellington Orcas really looking forward to the game. Exciting stuff here. Māori Television every Saturday, live at 2 p.m. You can watch the best of the Bartercard. And Sunday also, another game televised for all our fans all around the Motu. A great opportunity for everyone to view our National Rugby League competition.
Indeed, Tawara. I mean, it's been a more comprehensive coverage than the code has enjoyed of domestic football for many a year. We're very proud of Māori Television, their commitment to sport and in particular to rugby league. 2 games a weekend, 4 hours of domestic coverage, and tomorrow's game we've got the Central Falcons lining up against Harbour League.
Just another coup, if anyone hasn't found out yet, Māori Television will be broadcasting the Breakers games from September the 20th.
Yeah, that would be phenomenal. Actually, it's a great coup for Māori Television to grab.
Just a short stoppage in play.
Number 18, Hayden Davis in shot there. Ben Matulino seems to get taller each time we call his game.
Yeah, the interesting thing about Ben, Dale, is they like to go wide to him straight away, give him the ball early. I'd like to sort of see him get an inside ball, something a little bit different. They tend to go to him wide and let him do his thing. I'd like to see an inside ball.
Mpala's Kua there, one of the brothers from the Papua New Guinea region, actually playing rugby league over here.
It's great that we're able to support the game in such a way, having fellas from Papua New Guinea running around in our domestic comp. Certainly they've produced some fine players over the years. Wide we come now. Timmy Cahill with the ball. Cahill shadowed and claimed eventually the tackle of Atalia Nafatalai. Little run here. Wellington in good strike zone now through McNamara. Flat ball towards the line now. Wellington starting to put some pressure on the Titans early on. 5 minutes gone in the match. Looking for a way through. The youngster. Lays it 10 out for the line. Run for the line from McNamara. Referee says it'll be a turnover as well. The Titans able to withstand the pressure this time around.
Yeah, good stuff there from the Tamaki Titans. Good defensive effort coming off the line, putting some pressure on. A little gap appeared. The number 9 there. He took off from the ball. The line was open. What does he do? He tries to get the ball down. Oh, I don't know. And he was a bit short from the line there anyway, Richie.
Yeah, absolutely.
Titans dice with death as they run close to the sideline on the far side. Waza up to play the football. Good solid defence from the Orcas.
You certainly see the sting in their defence at the moment. Wellington Orcas are certainly in this game, wanting to win this game, putting pressure on Tamaki Titans, moving off the line. All the things that you want in a team early on in this game.
Heads up, working the ball wide. And a fine run, hole, up the middle they go. The Titans surging forward through Tufau. Gee, he's been good. Blackwell gets one on for Hatter. Hatter up the middle of the track. Hatter offloads again, but this time the Orcas will come up with the football. 2 away from the line, turning with it is Kulivao. Kulivao to the 10, now to 12.
Oh, sensational back there by Tufau down the left-hand side. We saw him last week. He was in devastating form, and he started again for the Tamaki Titans, but they just couldn't finish it. Willie Hatter threw a stray pass. One of the players coming and picking up the ball. Good work. Here we see Tufau throws a dummy, gets through the tackle, bounces off. A big unit, got some good strength, goes back up on the inside, pops the ball back inside to Blackwell, gives it to Willie Hatter. Good cover defence there from the number 5.
3 movement tacklers.
See the 2 try scorers in Blackwell and Willie Hatter, who scored 8 this season each, are there in support. It's a good sign.
Wellington back up to the halfway line, enjoying 58% of possession. Had to put on a stack of tackles at the moment. The Titans, 42 tackles to just the 8 that have had to be made by the Orcas. Still no score, 6 gone. Orcas in attacking mode, and centre field 30. Little hole opens up. Through the hole goes James Moala. Inside ball, and there is it McNamara? Reaches out and puts it down. Nathan McNamara scores an unlikely try. The Orcas are in. The Orcas.
Sensational stuff from the Orcas. Great break up the middle by the loose forward. James Moala does a little bit of cunny bit of a dance around, gets through the line, picks up back on the inside. The support players, fantastic work there by them.
Jesus was good stuff, and it just shows that they're in this game. And that was a lovely little break. I thought he had a good option there, and this Nathan McNamara is there forever in this game, probing around in good support. He's shown some good leadership there, and a good break there, good bust. Showed a bit of pace and a good option there, throws it in support like any good player should. Look for support first.
Yeah, certainly was a good try. Now action replays brought to us by Crown Lift Trucks, but there McNamara went close a couple of minutes ago. He's there supporting around the middle of the ruck like every good hooker should. Fantastic stuff to the Wellington Orcas and their sponsors, WinTech.
I guess the Titans will have to start looking at their defensive effort. Moala should never have got away then, and he did. There's a gimme from right in front of the posts, and that's collected confidently by Hayden McGalley. And a 6-0 lead, the Orcas over the Titans. Now, as far as here's where the tackle should have been made. Paulie fell off, and also Jeff Ruaporo was left wanting. The inside ball was good. That's McNamara, even better.
Geez, he did well to get to the try line. He had a lot of work to do. The boys on the side.
You did a really good job. Natialofa's been really good in defence coming across. What should have happened there, Ruaporo was going to get to him. Should have told his fullback to go to the support runner, Richie.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's all about communication. And it's not an easy job when you're out there.
Wind up time again, Hayden Davis with a bit of deja vu from first receipt, and haul up. He'll play it now 15 out from the line. A couple of settlers get a good kick away at the end of the set. Tawara.
Well, just see what the conditions are like, Dale, at the moment. That wind really isn't blowing too much. It's dropped right off. I don't really see too much advantage in kicking. Maybe they just want to try and work the 5 out and then get a good kick in.
3 gone. Orcas taking it forward. The man who caused the problems a few moments ago, James Moala. Big kia ora to all our viewers in Whangarui Atara. One of the strongholds of the New Zealand competition, and you can join us this Saturday afternoon. Ball behind, Hatter won't take that lying down. He toes it forward, the chase is on. Wellington have to tow it back through the boot there of Umpala's core. They'll go underneath the sticks, but a lot of ground lost. Richie Barnett.
that was just a, well, we'll have a look at the replay here. A pass, well, a drop ball. They should have taken that ball and very close to scoring, but Opulus Kua comes across, kicks it out just as well for the Wellington Orcas.
Ball still in play here. Look, it's just before the try line there, Richie. Just kicks it over the line. Bit of a la David Beckham soccer style Taua to Nikau back in the day. Well, I used to play a little bit of soccer too for Huntley United.
Did you really? You learn something about T each week. Well, except what we know, and that's that he enjoys a feed. But there you go, soccer player as well.
Speaking of feeds, thanks to Union Fish Company, Richie, and bringing in that awesome food where we had kina, power, mussels, too much, brother, me.
Oh, it's fantastic. Couldn't believe it. I thought he was Santa Claus. A seafaring Santa Claus when he lobbed in today. But anyway, back to the action. Leovara up the middle. Can't find his way through. 10 out from the line, underneath the sticks. The Titans looking to respond. They're down 6 on the board. Here's Aaron Pauly. Hot stepping. Not back to 10. Penalty. Oh, what a tap and go. Cross comes to Blackwell. Has to come back onto the spot. Referee Burns. It's Pauly to take the tap. Up the middle they come through. Ruaporo trying to spin. It's Matulino who has first contact. 5 from the line, right underneath the posts they are now. The Titans looking for an opportunity. Back it comes to Nuila.
Dominant tackle, 2.
Dominant tackle. 2 gone in the set. Pauly, 6 from the line. Here's Heta, first receiver, 1 left. Runs it back on the inside, picks up 2 foul. 2 foul to Blackwell. Davis is there. Pops it to Pauly. Keeping it alive. Still there. Oh, so very close. This time it's Nuila. Up to play the ball. Flicked on. Grab a kick. Ruaporo dives. Referee checking with his touch judges. It's in, and the Tamaki Titans straight back underneath the post to the try scorers, Jeffrey Ruaporo.
Yeah, good work there from the Tamaki Titans. They probed the line, trying to get through that line there. Eventually came with the kick from Willie Heda. A great work from the Titans to score.
Yeah, lovely little chip through there, and Jeff Ruaporo there in good support. But I've got to give a big ups for Opus Kua, who stopped the try just beforehand, and Ruaporo there nails that try. Hand down, pressure down on the ball.
Sorry, it was Aaron Pauly that put the kick in there. Good little skills from the hooker. He's been heavily involved in the early exchanges. And Jeffrey Ruaporo getting the ball down, courtesy of Crown Lift trucks with their action replays.
Looked a little dubious, didn't it, to put down T?
That's a fair try, mate. I've seen some dubious ones from the NRL referees. Don't worry about our referees here, mate, in the bartercard. They're just as good. They should be over there in the NRL.
Well, the thing is about the old third, and these are the 2 points over for Willie Heta. That's 6-all in this game. It should be a tight game. It's looking like it will be. But we go back to that the third referee or the third umpire, and they look for ways not to give a try. That was hand on the ball, downward pressure. You know, and I go back to every time they go for replays, they always
Do you want to borrow these? Okay.
Nothing wrong with that, mate. That's a try every day of the weekend. Referee Adam Burns just consulting his touch judges. No dramas at all. 6-all. She's all tied up. Bartercard Cup 2007.
Hey, congratulations to the Warriors last night. They put on a good show out there at Rarotonga, which is the original name for Mount Smart. Congratulations to them, a big win. That'll do wonders for their confidence. I'm sure all New Zealand League fans are with them as well as they work their way out of that slump. And certainly turned it around last night. Back to the live action here at North Harbour Stadium. Taraki by Whenua. Over the bridge here in Tamaki Makaurau. 2 foul once again with a beautiful little offload again. To Atalia, wide. And the try being scored out wide.
Yes, number 19 scores a try for the Tamaki Titans.
Well, I go back to Sione Nuila, who I think he's found his position at number 8. Fantastic work. And then you go through the number 12, Tufia, who's been in fine form, busts the line with a nice little tap pass to Natalia, and off to the number 19, who scores the first of his match. And soon, ladies and gentlemen, we'll get his name. We haven't got it on the score sheet, but what a fantastic effort.
Certainly was. Once again, here he sees down the short side. That man again, Tufial, too big, too strong. The ball outside. And there we go, our
Andrew
winger.
Safali.
Yes, Andrew Safale is credited with the try. Some good lead-up work. Atalia shuffles it nicely on. And a good finish there for the youngster on the left wing.
Yeah.
And the conversion is successful, so the Tamaki Titans are starting to do the business at the moment. Nice offload. Atalea, and out to Siafali. Takes it in and scores 10 to the left-hand side of the post. Converted as well, 12-6. The Titans lead after 15 minutes.
Yeah, no, the Orcas started off really well. They just got to make sure that they don't give any penalties or make any easy yardage for the Tamaki Titans to get down in their half, because when they get down there, they can really score some points.
Kick-off taken by the Titans and Elijah Taylor in number 7. Back to Aiden Howard in the second row. Will play it now. 25 out from his line. Leavata straight up the middle for the big crop. Will play it now. 15 short of halfway. Paulie to dummy half. Takes it quickly. There's a decoy runner not used this time around as the ball kicks the roll on. That is a strong carry to the halfway line. A good carry too from Nuila. Looking confident down the left flank through Tufau at the moment. 4 gone on the set. 35 from the line. Heta turns it back up on the inside. Nuila once again. Nuila gets the ball to Blackwell. Lays it back. Back to Tufau. Puts the fend on and he will be put away. 25 out from the line now. 10 in from the northern touchline. Paulie decides to go short side. Back on the inside. There's another kick, but Kua straight into Kua's hands.
Surrender tackle!
Takes it a couple of metres out from his own line.
Exploiting the blind side there as they have in the past, and they've had some joy on the left-hand flank. But good work from the wheeler. Too fierce. Lavia at number 10. Beautiful work. The forwards are really stepping their authority on this match early on. 15 minutes and 40 gone. 12-6 to the Tamaki Titans.
Yeah, you're exactly right there, Richie. The Tamaki Titans forwards are getting a good roll on, laying a solid foundation for those, for their backs and their back rows on the fringes, and very, very hard for the Wellington Orcas to stop that roll on.
And the decoys too. We've seen that as Dale has mentioned. A few decoys and a nice little chip over the top. Willie Heta there as usual.
Now he's a danger man, isn't it? Blackwell. He whips it wide and picks up Natiolofa on the far side of the field. Tackle is made by Matulino. 5 metres inside the Orcas half. 2 tries to 1. Youngsters, if you've just joined us, I tend to call them youngsters. There are a number of 17, 18-year-olds in the Wellington Orcas, and very much a growing opportunity for the coach and the squad.
That's a good run there from Jethro Poro. 15 metres.
He's been playing good ball of late, isn't he? Poro Blackwell now. Turns it back up onto the into the inside. Picks up Elijah Taylor, some big raps on this young man. 15 out from the line and 5 to the right-hand side of the post. Again, the Titans set themselves. It's Paulie, flicks it right on the wind-up. Here comes Howard. Aiden pops it back, lays it back, but it doesn't end up into a blue hand. It instead ends up in the hands of James Moala.
Yeah, the idea was right. It just went to the wrong person. Should have had someone running short off his hip or on the outside, because that's where the gap was. Aiden Howard giving the ball away to the Wellington Orcas, leading them off the hook.
And mass defence there as 3 Titans forwards effect the tackle. Downstairs Howard, and upstairs Leavata in that tackle. Another surging run and a busting run this time. Mosema Soy finds himself into space. Ruapuna grabs him from behind. Terrific run though. 25 metres now. The Orcas, as they look for an opportunity up the middle. Hot stepping around goes Justin Carnegie. Carnegie still isn't put away. He eventually will be grasped. 22 out from the line.
Old Carnegie taking a bit of a buffering, a bit like in the dodging cars, bouncing around in circles there.
There's the grubber, the pickup. A sensational effort. The referee checks with the touchies. It is a try. Awesome effort from the Orcas. They're in for try number 2.
Well, Tim Cahill, he'd be happy with that. A nice little chip through, and Cahill receives that ball. The blind side seems to be working for both teams at the moment, and that certainly has for the Orcas.
Yeah, certainly has, Richie. Great try for the Orcas to strike back. They didn't have much ball. They've come up down the end of the field, and they can score points. So good to see them getting down that end of the field. But Tim Cahill, what a great try. Good little grubber kick down that short side. There it is.
We'll have a look at the run from the big man. This is well, it came out of nowhere, straight up the middle and into a hole. Ruapuro senses the danger. It comes at him from behind, and in the next play, clever little grubber and some fine work out wide.
Yeah, the ball comes out here. Good little kick to Taraka. Goes to the line, steps off it. realises that the defensive line is up, puts a little grubber in. Great work. He knew that kick was coming. They practiced that thing over and over again in training, but awesome stuff. Ben Taraki going to the line, shimmies off his right foot, just gives himself a little bit of angle. Great work by the winger there, Cahill, to finish off.
Yeah, there's not much that Gary Natualofa could do with that. The ball was taken. Ben Taraki took the ball to the line, kept the ball in both hands, and opted for the kick at the last moment, so the winger had to come up. Good option, great result.
Hayden McGilly from literally off the chalk on the far side of the field. This will be a difficult kick. He's kicking right into the wind. Strikes it quite nicely. Whether it's got the wheels, that's the question, and it turns out that it hasn't. But 12-10 with a quarter of the game gone. Let's analyse the first quarter of the match. Richie Barnett.
Well, I think the Tamaki Titans look very good when their forwards are standing up, and I think they've stamped their presence in the game early on. But when you've got guys like Ben Taraki taking the ball to the line and kicking through, keeping his options open, I think this should be an interesting game. I think it's quite tight, but I do like the look of the Titan forwards. Yeah,
no, certainly as the Titan forwards are laying a solid foundation. They're not really taking the opportunities. They've done a couple of, got it down there a couple of times, Richie. There's a couple of scoring opportunities that they should have taken, and when it comes, that might come back and haunt them.
Well, the wind seems to have picked up in the last little while. You saw a picture there of Dean Clark. I guess he would be expecting his team to go into the sheds with perhaps a 10, maybe even 15-point lead. So if they can keep them within that, the Orcas, they will have done well, and this is an opportunity for them to work downfield or upfield, I suppose you might say, as they're playing into the wind. McGilly kicks towards the southern touchline here, and they will take this set from 8 metres out.
Yeah, I think the closer the Orcas stay close to Tamaki Titans for this first half, I think they might come good in the second half and win against them. I truly believe that.
Yeah, Mossy Masoi, he's a big unit, mate, and he just bulldozes through that front line. A big unit, big skill.
Joey Flint up to play it. Gets it back to Kulefau. He finds Matolino, signed with the Warriors, opting to do his year of study in the capital. Now to McGilly, turns it on the inside and finds Mwala. James claimed, downstairs Taylor. They'll play it now, 5 out from the line, great chance for the Orcas as Carnegie goes. Now it's Matulino, tries to free his arms, can he? He can't this time. Howard puts him away with assistance from Natia Lofa. Here's Carnegie looking for the grubber kick through. Leavata dives onto the football and 6 metres out from the try line. The co-captain will get up to play the ball for the Titans.
Yeah, good work there by the Tamaki Titans. They knew the play was on the short side. Once again, Natia Lofa coming up with a good hit down there. What they need to do, Wellington, is just put a misplay and hit the bloke in behind, and he should be able to walk into that corner.
Yeah, I agree with that, Tawara. I think they're hitting Ben Montenino all the time. I think they need to come up with a little bit of different options. Maybe use him as a decoy runner.
Yeah, a bit of variation around that short side, but it's definitely the place. Oh,
Tufau is looking very good once he gets through the line. And the good thing about his play, Tawara, you'll like it too, is he's always looking for that offload. He's done a couple of fine pieces of work in the last 10 minutes.
He certainly does. He reminds me of Ali Lautiti. You know, he's got that ability to stand and offload. And, you know, some of the best players, you know, he's just really, really good.
The great thing about it is he's not forcing it. He's going through the line. That's a shocker of a kick.
Elijah Taylor tries to make something out of nothing. He takes the football, b-balls it over the top. Leavata can't get it. Comes back to Howard. He fumbles, and then he puts a kick in. Well, it's a bit of a comedy of errors at the moment. Taken at the back by Timmy Carr, who will try and put some starch into the attack. Across field he comes, looking to link up with his men, who eventually finds himself isolated as Tim Cahill. He'll play it on the 30-metre line, about 12 metres in from the northern touchline.
He's got a bit of, you know, bit of layer about him. He's carrying the ball in one hand there.
Well, you would think with Tamaki, you'd be able to get that ball down in goal with the wind to get with them. Just get the ball down and a good kick chase. It's quite a simple game when you've got the wind against you. Get it down the other end of the field and you make them make the mistakes.
Well, both teams at the moment enjoying equal possession thereabouts, likewise with territorial advantage. Not much in it at the moment, as the scoreline indicates as well. On the run now comes Troy Nico. Nico through the gap. We touched on the ability of Tufau. So often big forwards make the hole and then panic when they find themselves in space. He's sort of not used to it. Blackwell's touched it. Blackwell will try and get into the field of play. He can't, so they'll restart under the post. A good result here for the Orcas.
Good result from the Orcas. Ben Taraki again taking it to the line and his nice little chip kick through. And the weight was good too with his kick. Nice little dab through. And James Blackwell touching that board and having to make that option to go back and get it out of trouble, but a safe option to throw it out.
Yeah, Taraki has been very good with his kicking game so far. Very impressed going to the line, putting it along the ground, putting some pressure on them, changing his kicks around. So very impressed with that sort of kick. And what a great dropout, 60 on the fly.
Well, that's indicative of the work that Tawhiri Mate is putting in today, because that one was a big dropout. Man down from that hit. I think it's Voisa, but the Orcas getting themselves into good field position to strike another blow. Here is Matulino, comes surging through with the football. 8 out from the line, he'll play it now. Palas Kua looking for a runner. Throws a little dummy, trying to pick up Patton Matulino, but instead the PNG player will play it 5 out from the line. Carnegie now. Carnegie across to Tareka. Tareka probing, jinking run. Looking as trying to mesmerise the opposition. He can't. He'll play the ball 5 tackles gone. Now it's Patrick Matulino, lifts up the arm and goes all the way.
Oh, great skills by Patrick Matulino. What a good work. Had the ball in 2 hands, putting his big right hand over the top and got the big hand over the line, Richie.
The big mitt comes out and probes through the line and looks for options, but the big fella just able to get through. Power. We spoke about these 2 boys early on in the first half, and look at this. He gets the ball, he drives through, he sees the gap and he drives through, arms out, and you're pretty disappointed with that defensive effort actually from Tamaki Titans. They should have got off the line a lot quicker. They're sliding across, as you can see there. They should have moved up and nailed him earlier on. Yeah, right there, Richie. Defensively, they've gone across. But a good thing by Patrick Matulino is he sort of ran a bit of an angle. He didn't actually run straight into the player. He ran to a bit of space. And that's what gave him a bit of space to get on the outside of the centre there, the number 4, Talia Nafatalai. And good work by the Wellington Orcas.
Magele just a little askew this time around. Hayden Magele. Score remains at 14-12. This has been an impressive showing from the Wellington Orcas. And again, holding the ball high, keeping the defensive line guessing. And he was always going to get there. That's a good try from Matulino. He's been benched for his efforts. And a bit of a breather for him. We watched last night, I think it was Price for the Warriors, played 70-odd minutes. So it can be done. In the modern game, it would seem that coaches like to rotate, especially their big players, give them perhaps half a game each, but at times you can see benefits in leaving guys on longer.
Oh, when you're on a roll, you just keep them on. You just keep them on. You don't want to take someone off who's on form. And certainly the Orcas are here to play. They look enthusiastic. They're doing all the little things right. And I just feel that the Titans are just a little bit off their pace.
It's always hard, Richie. They played in a very tough game last week against the Auckland Lions, 30-all draw. We saw that here on Māori television. And sometimes after you played a really good game, it's hard to lift yourself mentally. You know, you're maybe a little bit flat. And the Titans look, they're not sort of 100 miles an hour. I don't think they're really on their game 100%.
Well, as far as the Titans are concerned, it's been Willie Heta. He's been a prolific point scorer for them. He's made something like just over 40 goals as well, so he's certainly involved in virtually everything. That's nicely trapped by Blackwell on the 20-metre line. He turns and faces up. Interesting, Richie, as far as the physique of modern-day fullbacks in the past. You might have had tall, rangy players, perhaps like Campbell, Gary Campbell, the crayfish, and yourself, but they seem to be getting smaller as the years go by.
Yeah, interesting to note. They've shrunk in size. They're small, but they're quick and strong. It seems to be the way that they're heading these days.
When you look at the standout runners, I still rate Carmichael Hunt. He plays a complete game at the back, but that was a fabulous try last night. If you do get a chance to see the try scored last night by the Warriors fullback Wade McKinnon, it was an absolute pearler, and one of the best you'll see ever in the game of solo effort from 70 out. Now with the football is Wellington through Joey Flint. He'll play a couple out from his own line.
Yeah, Joey Flint looked like he took a dive there. It's quite obvious. It's amazing that the referee, Adam Byrne, didn't give him a penalty.
Yeah, that's a pretty contentious issue. Maybe one we can bring up on Boyle up about that tackling issue, Richie.
Yeah, I'm against it, but I know why you do it. You have to get in play and you push back. But there's some blatant ones, Tawana. There's some blatant ones where I would call, if I was a ref, a penalty.
Korero Riki today is Whaiwhenua. The metres gained. And another of our kupu Māori that you can share with your mates. Whaiwhenua, Korero Riki.
Whaiwhenua right now is 693 to the Wellington Orcas against the 398 the Tamaki Titans. So well in favour of the Orcas.
They're playing smart at the moment, Tawara. They're a young team. They don't have the benefit of size, but they're playing smart and they're playing at the right end of the footy field.
Yeah, they certainly are. We talked earlier in the broadcast about them probably maybe just lacking a little bit of direction, but Taraki has been absolutely fantastic, leading his team around. His kicking game's been on song, and we'll just hopefully they can maintain that for the rest of the 80 minutes. Sorry, for the rest of the 60 minutes left in the game.
Well, certainly the Titans would have seen when they did the dropout, the assistance that the wind can have for them. That was a 60 on the fly dropout. We haven't seen an attempted 40-20 as the head up is taken by the replacement Caleb Dilworth on the field now. 5 metres inside the Orcas half. We might see a little bit more from the kicking game of William Heta as that ball is knocked on. I think that might be Turufenu who put it down.
And they really are playing in the hands of the Orcas with those sort of mistakes, compounding mistakes, gaining more tackles. They're having to make, and I think this is just leading the Tamaki Titans in a deep hole at the moment. The
Orcas, Ricky, the more that goes on like this, they'll grow with confidence. The Wellington
they'll
Orcas.
grow with confidence.
They definitely are.
In the second half, they'll have the win against them, so you suspect that they'll come out guns blazing.
It's Kua. Yeah, the stats don't lie there. They've been forced to make a lot more tackles. 111 against 63. So there's a number of sets in there that the Titans have had to make. Although, of course, it sucks the energy from you. A lot more defending than it does attacking. Head up time now. It's Troy Deco once again. Good field position once again for the Wellington Orcas as Carnegie comes with a dummy half. 20 out from the line. Looking for a runner up the middle. There's a man with puts his hand up. It's a Buchanan. Get to his feet now. Carnegie to dummy half. Carnegie wide. He comes for McGalley. The cut out wide. Numbers to the corner. Cahill is in. Cahill is in again for the Orcas in the corner.
Oh, great stuff there. That's where they mixed it up. We talked about that earlier, Richie. They didn't use Matalina that time. Threw the long ball, Tarek out to the centre, and he was able to get the ball to Cahill. Sensational stuff.
Cahill again, and for his second of the match. And quite incredible, really. Good flow of play. Hands, and like you said before, Tawara, leaving out Ben Mutalina, which I thought they went to quite often, and a good option. They go wide. Ben Taraki again going to the line. That's the key. The money ball there, and the throw, that one-handed pass. That's just brilliant stuff.
Yeah, Mali Kulevo with the last pass to Cahill, who is proving to be a very worthy finisher on the left-hand corridor.
Certainly was, very unorthodox and great work. So there was a Hayden McGilly that threw the long ball out there to Kulevo in the centres. Matelofa coming off his line. He's sort of getting caught there, Richie. In defence, the Titans have, the Wellington Orcas have spotted a weakness down that left-hand side and they're attacking it.
McGalley puts more on this one and raises the flags right from the sideline. Excellent effort. And he was the man really who put the long ball on that secured them the try once it went through Kulevo and out to Cahill. Fabulous effort from McGalley, and it's a 20-12 scoreline. Surprisingly, the Orcas leading with 7.5 minutes to play in the first half.
Yeah, you're right there, Tawara, that the winger's coming in. He doesn't know what to do when you've got Hayden McGalley and Ben Taraki taking the ball to the line. The winger doesn't. You'd either stay back or come up, and he's in no man's land. Certainly
got a bit lost there, Gary. I'm sure Dean Clark will be saying to him, either hang back or stay up. What are you going to do? You've got to make a good decision.
I know that Dean Clark keeps a reasonably cool head, although he did blow at his team, I'm told, one half-time break. And he may give him a rocket this time around too, because sitting third on the table and after a big effort last week against the front runners in the competition, they would have been expected to have come out and done better than they have in the first half, as Matalino has his way with them down the left-hand corridor and looks again to link up with Cahill. This is a wonderful effort from the Wellington Orcas, playing smart football.
We see the metres gained, 402 metres for the Tamaki Titans against the 750 for the Wellington Orcas. So nearly double the amount of yardage. Yeah, just a couple of things with Tamaki Titans. In the last month, their defence has been the key factor, leaking 31.5 5 points per game. Before that, they only led in 16 points per game.
Yeah, so they probably aren't doing as well as Dino Clark would want from them, Richie.
So that's a good chase. I mean, you had 3 Orcas there in defence. They're ready. And look at that. Continuous defence, first and second tackle, crucial in the set of 6.
Well, you look at the Tamaki Titans forwards, they're just getting back now, Richie. You know, they're walking back. They're sucking the big ones in there.
They're well drilled, and that's what you can get with full-time study and training is wind-up time again. Is it too foul? He has been very, very good down this side of the field. Picking it up now and losing the football is Atalia and Nifitale.
Market defence from the Orcas has been exceptional. That's where they're winning the game. Both of them are very aggressive, making the right options, getting out, putting pressure on the ball players, bringing their line up in defence. When your markers are on song, your defensive line generally comes up and plays with it.
Yeah, Paul Bergman will be very happy with his first half performance from his Chargers today. They were very impressed. You know, they've gone about their business. They've hardly made any errors. And so it just puts all the pressure back onto the Tamaki Titans.
Yeah, we'll pick up on that errors made. One error in the half. I mean, that's an excellent effort from them. And territorially, as I say, that's been reasonably 50-50. Possession, though, now starting to favour the Orcas, 61%, 39.
Good work.
With the football and making a darting run as Guaza. It's Ben Matulino downstairs, puts him away, right on the halfway line. Here's Paulie now. Paulie shuffles the ball onto Elijah Taylor. Shows it, Taylor! Back up on the inside, good ball! Jason Toe with the ball now. 28 out from the line, Paulie, 10 to the right-hand side of the posts. Across to William Heta. Heta back up on the inside. Well constructed. Quick play the ball, 15 from the line. Now Paulie. Paulie has the ball stripped. Play on, says the referee. And Carnegie is away from 1, then 2. Carnegie still 30 up from the line. Big play.
Oh, it certainly was a big play there. Was 9 on 9, hooker on hooker. Paulie trying to get away. Carnegie ripped the ball out in the 1-on-1 steal. Gives the momentum back to the Wellington Orcas.
Carhill goes. Then back to Flint. Flint is away from 1. Crawling his way upfield. 42 out from the line now. The Orcas playing good football. Shuffled on. Tareka, now Kua. And Kua put away on the tackle of Jason Toe. 27 from the line. Orcas. Carhill. Carhill straight. And Carhill gets minted. Good start from Natia Lofa. Off Magelli's boot. Pressure on at the back. Taken comfortably though. The Tamaki Titans heads to ground with it.
You can see the Tamaki Titans now slowing to get back. Their forwards are very tired, having to do extra tackles. Not only that, they're not getting into their completions. Their completions are very low. And that's a good run there and a good tackle from Natialofa.
Hole running James Blackwell. One of the danger men.
Tackle 3. Stand.
Like secret squirrel. Hops up with the ball and away. Change of angles. Hayden Davis too high. Stands over him unnecessarily. Little push there from Blackwell. Davis wants to go on with it. Unnecessary. I like the attitude he takes into his football, though. He's been on with it right from the start of the match.
Yeah, he's very good today, Hayden Davis. He's now standing. He's put a bit of weight on the young bloke. We were watching him last year. He's put on a bit of weight. He's playing up in the front row. Good amount of skill. Good defensively too. So he's got a little bit of mongrel.
Another look at it.
There's not much in that.
Perhaps looked a little worse than it was as we see Fred Tudu-Whenua. The Tuhoitera with the ball now. He'll play at 22 out from the line. Paulie. Flat ball. Giving the ball some air. Some space with Caleb Dilworth. Matulino teams up with Davis to make the tackle on the 20-metre line. Elijah Taylor now. Taylor dummy. Taylor through. Taylor steps and Taylor scores. Elijah Taylor. Well, they're giving him big raps. The raps deserved on that play.
Elijah Taylor taking the ball to the line, shapes the pass, right foot step, goes through the line. The fence goes wandering. What a beautiful try with 1:58 to go, and they score a try.
Certainly has got some big raps on this young fella. They'd say he's the next big thing. He's the next Benji Marshall. Some raps people giving him, but a lot of things to put on. But mate, that was a true class. You watch him taking the ball. Paulie gets the ball out to Taylor. Defensive line, 2 hands, dummies, shimmies off the left foot. Bang, steps off the right foot, changes the ball into the other hand. Some great skills there by Elijah Taylor and Andrew Johns.
And let's look over the defensive line here. Staying back, planting your feet. You need to come up. And he just brushes aside 2 or 3 defenders to get through. 18-12 with the kick going over from Willie Heta. With 1 minute to go. What could happen next, boys? What could happen?
Remember last week, wasn't it? Well, it went down to the wire. It could well this afternoon as well. 20-18. The Orcas letting one in when they really had an advantage turning into the break. But even so, we were guessing maybe a 10 or 15-point win behind the Titans. So this has been a fabulous performance by the youngsters from Te Whanganui Atara. Elijah Taylor again showing some skills. You touched on a point there, Tawada, that he was able to swap the ball into his left hand. Now, if you analyse that, it looked very natural, but in actual fact, he's combined a number of quite complex skills to what with the fend, the step through the dummy, the swapping hands, and all of it seemingly natural. But if you were somebody who studied sports science, you'd realise that not everyone could do that and make it look so easy.
It certainly is very natural for some players, but you know, a lot of these guys spend hours and hours practicing those certain skills, changing off your left hand, changing to your right hand, practicing your step, holding the ball in 2 hands. Those aren't natural things. So some boys are born with skill and some are natural too.
Now, Richie Barnett, as far as the fend is concerned, or the arai, as we've used in our kōrero oriki, this is it's an underutilised skill in the game, but it can be so effective because it seems to be making a bit of a comeback.
Absolutely, and Wayne McKinnon was an example of that last night with his arai. Very strong. And that's the half, ladies and gentlemen, at 20-18 in way of the Orcas. But you're right, the defend is certainly a big thing in the game at the moment.
Well, the Orcas will turn, and a 2-point lead for the Wellingtonians. Unexpectedly, a fantastic 40 minutes of footy in this bartercard Cup action from Taraki Pai Whenua. Stick around, we're going to be analysing that first half in just a moment, right here on live coverage of bartercard Cup 2007. And welcome back. It is 2018. The Orcas lead the Titans. And this is our United Video player profile.
Yes, it is number 12, Sui Tiali Tufiao. He's been devastating in recent weeks. We've seen him do, and what he can do is go through the tackle and offload. It's great to see a player that can play through the line, before the line, and some big, good skills. Hits the line at speed, brushes the tackle, but just does it naturally. That's a great thing about it. In defence, very, very lethal also. Tiali Tufiao, our United Video player profile for the Tamaki Titans.
Let's have a look at our player profile from the other side. It's Hayden Davis. He had a good first half with Barnett.
He certainly has. He's been in good form this season. The blonde bombshell, powering the ball up. And playing at number 18 today, playing as a prop. Good tackle and good drive. Those legs just driving forward, gaining as much metres as he can, which is showing in the Orcas' metres gained. They're well ahead. The defence is strong. He's an aggressive player. And he likes a bit of biffo too. Let him go. And that's a United Video player profile, Hayden Davis, for the Wellington Orcas.
Well, you need a bit of fire in your belly to play the game of rugby league, and especially if you're a prop forward. Hayden Davis. How will he go in the second 40? It's been a very entertaining first 40.
It has been the coach, Paul Bergman. Hope he hasn't been to the casino last time he was up here. He lost a hell of a lot of money, Bergie, but
somehow I was thinking you were going to say something else.
Yes, but never mind, buddy. Sure, you would have backed the... You can't back the boys either, but good on you. You'll be pretty happy with half-time of those boys.
I'm pretty sure that Dino Clark would have given his Titans boys a bit of a rev up, though. They should be in front here. They've allowed the younger Orcas to dominate. Short side play now. Wide to Fred Tudufenua. That's another good carry. Takes it 12 metres, but he loses the football as he hits the deck. Much to the disappointment of himself and his teammates, and the Orcas will get the scrum feed, a couple of metres short of halfway.
Yeah, the Tuhoi train just getting derailed a little bit there, knocking the ball on the halfway line. Well, Fred Tudufenua, here he goes through the tackle once again. Ball is trying to lock the ball up. Well, yeah, I don't know, was that a knock on or not?
Outside foot back, chuck it in
Can't see
there,
that
chuck it
too,
in.
but certainly not the start that Tamaki Titans would like. We talk about completions and the first set, and they're unable to complete, so not a good start.
Well, speaking of one, slowly to his feet, Umpalas Kua. Now with the footballers, Billy Kulebau.
Tackle 2,
Makes a metre or so. There's a dummy half. Shuffle on, Hayden Davis, United video player profile now. He takes it forward, tackled on the 40-metre line. Play the ball and fed on by Carnegie. He's doing the dummy half work onto Matulino. 4 gone, just inching their way forward through this set. Outstanding control as far as their sets are concerned. The Orcas, 5th and final. They'll get it to a kick as well. Back it comes and on to Magele.
backwards, still low.
Back to, is it Taraki now with the football? Taraki decides to put it into the end goal. Nice little grubber. Pressure on at the back. The chase is good, but the Titans are locked in the end goal. They'll start from under the sticks.
Geez, Ben Taraki did well to get through the tackles, and then he's got that inept ability to kick through. He's got a beautiful little grubber.
Certainly has progressed on his grubber kick there, Richie. First half we saw a lot of his kicking, but just well weighted. And we see here he is, Tareki gets away from the tackle, the ball goes backwards. Willie Head is chasing after him, he's no slouch. But a good style, well weighted and just perfect set up for it. And here we see Hawkers on attack again though.
Davis with the football, 30 out from the line. Now with the Orcas, they decide to go short side. It's Ben Matulino. Carries the ball in front of him, keeping the opposition guessing. They stonewall and put him away. 18 from the line. Now Carnegie to the back, and he picks up James Moala. He had a fine first 40. 12 from the line as the Orcas wind up. It's this time Musi Masoi towards the line. The big man held up right in front of the Cowhorns. He'll play it back now to Carnegie. Carnegie to the right. Now it's Tareka. Still keeping it hot, the Orcas. They can't quite finish on the far side of the field. Tackle made on Troy Nico. Rubber kick to the end goal. Smart thinking. Savale with the ball, and he again is kept in the end goal, and they will once again go under the sticks to restart.
Geez, that's good from the Wellington Orcas. Repeat sets again. That's 2 in a row, 3rd for the game, and that sort of stuff. The compounding issue with getting it in. Sets of 6. They're just working it perfectly in the second half.
Yeah, the good thing about it, we talked about their completions earlier, and they started the second half exactly how they finished the first half.
Tim Cahill, it's been a good display, a clever display of football from Bergman's Chargers. They're using their top 2 inches well. From the back comes Kua. Tackled, 22 from the line. 10 over the northern touchline here. Wind at their backs. The Orcas decide to come short side again, and it's Matulino. First receiver, one left. He's picked up and driven backwards. Fine tackling effort from the Titans defence. Carnegie, Magele shows it on the inside to Moala. Moala shut down by his opposite, Ruaporo. Now it's Carnegie again to Magele. They've got the numbers if they can keep it hot. Tareka, wide, Kua to the wing, 3/4. Ball goes away.
Oh, unlucky there. That was the right play. They had a couple of decoy runners. Desta Buchanan, Umpalas Kua, just threw the ball over the sideline.
Yeah, it was the everything was right until it went to Umpalas Kua. A little wayward pass here. The right idea. Maybe the winger was up too flat. And again, they pinned them back. And the Tamaki Titans own territory. And the defence from the dummy halves are very, very good. That's where they're winning the game.
Jason Toe now with the football, 22 out from the line. Just lacking a little bit of spark, the Tamaki Titans. The forwards seem to be running relatively flat as Tudufenua takes it down the left-hand corridor, 15 from the halfway. This is the up and down tackles. Solid contact. Paulie had a wonderful game last week. Hayden Davis drives him back, and the tackle as well with Masoi. An opportunity for the Titans. Can they bust the line? There's the inside ball. Well, I thought the inside ball was to be delivered. The referee will...
Off blue player, onto another blue player.
I'll tell you what's been evident is that Willie Heta
Off one
hasn't
blue,
got
onto
the
the
ball
blue
in his
offside,
hand.
mate.
He's
You're
not
offside,
directing.
offside.
And when he's quiet, generally the Tamaki Titans are
Yeah, no, you're right there, Richie. Elijah Taylor probably taking on more of a role with the team today. We haven't seen Willie too much involved. We know that he can spark a difference, but he's been very, very quiet, considering Willie Hitler's usual involvement in any game.
Hang on the 20, guys, on the 20. Just hold, wait for the touch.
To make a little mention to all our whānau, our viewers in Taranaki on Māori television. It's been a sad loss through the week, the loss of a couple of notable figures in the Māori community in Taranaki, Ted Dambati, and also Auntie Ivy Papakuru, who passed away a couple of days ago, 105, what a lovely Okui she was, and a sad loss. We're back to the action, the Orcas weaving and darting and now diving. Oh, so close. Oh, the Orcas, talk about issuing challenges. One more challenge to them. Here they come up the middle. It's this time Masoi. Turnover of possession right when the Orcas needed it most, Taura.
Yeah, certainly was some good defence by the Titans. They're really under the hammer here. The Orcas, I think, Mosi Masoi just trying to put the ball out. He lost it over the line. And the Tamaki Titans are struggling to get out of their own quarter.
2 to 20, they go through Boazo. Quick play the ball. Good scooping away too from Nafetale.
Here we see the Mosi Masoi trying to get the ball over the line. Oh,
it's close.
Well, we know that the Titans can strike from any position on the football field. 3 gone. Keeping good control today, Adam Byrne. Have a look at penalties, 4-3. It's another fine run from our United video man. That's Siali Tufao, one of the standout performers in Bartercard Cup. He's playing consistent football as William Henner gets it. The chase is on the far side and picking up the football. Orcas through Flint.
That's a good run there from Joe Flint. A good read. It could have easily bounced over his head. He held his ground. And they're getting out of trouble now. That's another good run there too. Their back's getting involved, helping the forwards out. You can see them, 2, 3, getting involved. That's the key.
Yeah, there's a lot to like about Tim Cahill's play.
Little banana kick across field. Good option, good kick. And equally good stuff by the number 2 for the Wellington, Joe Flint, getting out of trouble.
Andrew Sefali, to his credit as well, as a good chase from the Titans winger. As you come back to centre field, little dummy, forward goes Moala.
Very impressive. Moala's play around the middle of the rucks. Good player. Wiry loose forward that gets stuck in there and, you know, ever present.
Tareka using his head saying, fellas, wide play up here. Let's set it up. And it does go dead. So they'll restart off the 20, just a little deep. Yeah, the kickers realise when they're playing here on the different fields. I mean, the end goal here is twice as big as the one at Mount Smart Stadium. Back to our Kororiki.
Yeah, Kororiki for this week. Waiwhenua, metres gained. And at the moment, metres gained for both teams, 696 against 1,022 for the Wellington Orcas. Our Waiwhenua, metres gained from our Kororiki.
Leavata winds up. Good strong carry, takes it forward, 32 from his own line. 22-18. This was the scoreline at the break. It is the same after 10 into the second half. Ball down. Orcas receive. And the Titans guilty of making fundamental errors and giving their opponents an opposition. An opportunity, excuse me, as Leavata comes over the top on Joey Flint.
A little bit of WWF there, old Leavata.
Well, it's not helping their whenua, really, for Tamaki. They're dropping the ball in crucial positions.
15 from the line. Matulino, Junior, up to play the ball. Carnegie turns it on the inside and finds Masoi. He looks like the man most likely, does Masoi. Gets the offload, the try is scored, it is Kua! Kua is in!
Awesome.
Jeez, that just epitomises the way he's been playing. Mosi Masoi barging through, great aggression, big man. He just bowls through and has the presence of mind to give that little offload. And what a brilliant try. Umpulis Kua.
Yeah, there he is, the man of the moment. The man all the way from PG, Umpalis Kua. Here we see the ball drops off back on the inside. Mosi Masoi, he's done this all day. Barnes storming around 1, 2, 3. And they're able, just as he's going to the ground, to flick the ball up. And the man's there. Here we get another look at it. Carnegie drops it back on the inside. The big unit buffeting. Look at this. That's great skill there.
Yeah, I guess the little man should be running off him every single time. He's been very potent today. As Maze Masoi has the extras now. And Magelli, no problem there. So the Orcas extend their lead now to an 8-point lead. 26-18 with just on 28 minutes to play here. Richie Barnett.
Yeah, what a great start once again from the Orcas. I really like the look of them. They're very enthusiastic. They've got some good forwards. They're taking it forward. Patrick Mortolino, Hayden Davis, James Moala looks good at number 13. They're all putting in exactly what you'd want from your forward pack. And players like Upalis Kua are certainly reaping the rewards.
Well, could we see this afternoon what the Orcas have not been able to do all season, and that is to put away one of the top 5 squads. As Hayden Davis comes at Leava'a.
One! Movement!
He stops him. 22 out. And Davis
What number?
chastised by the ref. I think he was wanting to go on with it. Or was it Leava'a? He's a dirty player.
Is he a dirty player? Is he Leava'a?
Oh, no, that's supposed
Probably just a little bit of frustration from Joss here. We know that he's not a dirty player. Here we go, he's getting a bit frustrated, a bit of argy-bargy. Tries to do the old cattle dog headlock, pull me down. I'll give you a...
Well, I've got to give him a bit of stick. He's going to be my son-in-law one day, so I suppose I better give him a bit of stick, eh?
How does it go, mate? I hope he doesn't do that to you, Dan.
He won't be doing that to me, pal.
Surrender!
But he's got some work to do. He's the co-captain of the Titans. They are under pressure. This man is causing them all sorts of problems! Look at it! It's good! It's beautiful!
Oh, certainly
under
it's beautiful. It's the Mossy Marsoi show at the moment. That's unbelievable. He's just bullocking through there like, mate, how good is he?
Like a bull?
He's there like a wild bull on the pampas.
He just drove forward, and what I liked about it too is Hayden Magelli and Ben Taraika there in support. You look at him go here. Why wouldn't you follow this guy through? He bowls through them like at will, and a flick pass. Look at that, a nice little flick pass, and that's end result there with Ben Taraika in good support as well as Hayden Magelli.
Oh, sensational stuff, exactly. Here he is, the big unit, boom, drops the left arm down, able to flick out the ball. That's a bit of skill. Magelli, Taraika, these two guys have been outstanding today so far. I've been very, very impressed with their kicking game, their general discipline and leadership on the field, and marshalling their troops today has been absolutely fantastic.
It's all about attitude, and it wouldn't matter what team you supported. That was a fine rugby league effort. And hats off to Marsoi. Gee, he's been good when he's got the ball in hand, and difficult to stop. As Toad has mentioned, it's not easy to drop your left shoulder and then pop the ball back on the inside with the right hand. He does it superbly.
Look at that.
I mean, that's exactly where you want to be as a support player. Richie, right off his hip, right off his backside. We used to have a move called coming out of your ass, which is just right there. So yeah, we used to... I used to hide. You could hide behind mine now, but you couldn't when I was a player.
That's what I was going to say. You wouldn't see anything from
That's exactly where you want to be.
Interesting call. Well, there's the turnover. Now, maybe the momentum might shift here, Richie Barnett.
Well,
that's all it takes sometimes.
A lot of the time, when we spoke about the two players that need direction and guidance, and those two, 6 and 7, Hayden Magelli and Ben Taraika, they certainly have had their presence felt in this game, and they've directed well. The kicking game's been sharp, but like you said before, Dale, this is just gives them another opportunity. They haven't been in this quarter, so let's see what they can do with it.
Well, they were strong on defence in the first 40. Let's see what the Orcas can do. Has Taraka steals, goes, and he is away. Can he link up? That's the question. Pulled down from behind. Well, there's the one-on-one strip. Yeah, what an effective play it is. It's the play least expected by men carrying the football.
Dominant! Tackle 2!
One of the most effective. Taraka steals it. Carnegie now. Marsoi.
3!
Get another look at that strip.
There we go, the ball one-on-one. Blackwell takes it there. Tareka's got him one-on-one. That's fair game there, and he does a great job of doing that. Blackwell just couldn't hold on to it.
So 20 out from the line, and again the Orcas into attack mode. That solid defence, the Titans come and lift, drive. 15 from the line. First receivers, Tareka has a little think and then a grubber kick through, but too much on that one, and not quite how he would have wanted that to unfold. The Titans, they'll take receipt, 20 out from the line.
Yeah, the Titans got to come back with more completion, but they need to play football too. If you watched the Warriors last night, they weren't mundane and carting the ball up. They played with the ball with tip-ons, with a lot of plays.
Good to see the Warriors actually doing that, Richie, for a change.
It is, but it was superb. And it's just so enjoyable to watch that sort of stuff, because I think they play their best football by playing with the ball and really carting the ball around, just as you can see on what the Tamaki Titans are doing now.
Far side of the field, Tufao has pressured this little ball, and we can see just how dangerous he is once he gets an opportunity now to Siofale. Siofale will play the ball 35 from the line. Now, Paulie, the Titans wind themselves up through Nuila, and Nuila tackled 28 from the try line.
Do you take off Mosi Masoy, give him a break, Richie, bring him back on for the last 15 minutes, or do you just leave him out there? That's the question you want to ask.
Well, it's a good question too, T. You want him to be performing like that for the whole 40, and that's a lovely little break there from the wheeler.
Fifth and final tackle on the Titans. Paulie is dangerous from here. Paulie with a short ball and the charging run now from Caleb Dilworth. Dilworth loses the ball. The Orcas come up with it. They do well.
Oh, there's that man, Taraki. He was heavily involved in that, getting the steal off the Tamaki Titans.
I'll tell you, that's asking you a question. Mosi Masoe is off.
Oh, there he goes, mate. Here we go. Good defence here. Last tackle. Jeff Ruapuro tries to pop the ball out the back door. Feels he's going out over the try line. Popped it back into Umpala Skua. Great work from the Wellington Orcas.
Very good work from the Orcas as Matulino finds some space. Now trying to get around the outside. Stepping up the middle. Kulivo. And the runner was there. The ball couldn't quite get across to him. That's Hayden McGalley. Now it's Tim Cahill. Cahill lays it on at the back for McNamara. McNamara cut down with a beautiful tackle. And that was Atalia Navalete. Little offload now from Moala. Again, clever thinking, although just a little bit too heavy. Speaking of the Warriors, I noted your criticism was picked up by the media as well, Tawara.
Oh, well, nothing wrong with a bit of criticism. Probably sparked them into playing some better football, which is all good for rugby league, Dale, isn't it?
Oh, look, I think it's, well, if anyone's in a position to criticise, it would be ex-Kiwis like yourselves. But there was a sense of frustration.
Yeah, they probably have been a bit frustrated themselves, and it's good to see that they came back and actually, did very, very, very well on the weekend.
It was a good style of ball last night. Passing into the holes and running gaps. This is what we don't see enough of, as that is a powerful run. Again, it is too foul.
Well, if there's anyone that can get them back into the game, it's this man here, Siali Tufao. He's been absolutely fantastic, outstanding on that left-hand fringe for the Tamaki Titans in the last few weeks. Just so that we need the likes of Willie Heta, James Blackwell to really step up. Here he is, the big unit. So United video player profiler. Siali Tufao.
Well, we haven't really seen Tamaki in the Orcas half.
They've got work to do. It's just been a little bit flat. Leava takes first receipt, stares it back on the inside, picks up Elijah Taylor. Taylor on the far side to the danger man. Tufao back to Heta. Heta needs to keep the fend up. Put away on the tackle there of Justin Carnegie. 18 from the line. Tackle 2 on the set. Taylor. Cut out ball over the top, picks up Aiden Howard. Howard trying to step through Davis. Matulino puts the fend on the former Howard player. Back now to Blackwell. Blackwell to Taylor. Taylor keeps the ball wide for Boaza. And Boaza now, he loses the ball. And Cahill picks it up and he's flung into touch. No advantage, referee says. Orcas feed.
Well, the Tamaki Titans are probably panicking a little. I would have thought they would have gone through the set. Maybe they worked their way to the right of the field here, and I thought they did well here, but they just panicked, threw a pass, and they tried to offload. Maybe a knock from the Wellington Orcas player to knock the ball out. But they haven't completed the sets yet.
Well, we've only seen them down here. I think this is the first time, Richie, in 20 minutes they haven't been down in this half. We talked earlier in the broadcast about playing a bit smarter, and that's exactly what the Wellington Orcas have done. They've kicked the ball, even though it's gone dead. They've still got to restart. The defensive line is set down in the Tamaki Titans half, and they've really struggled to get out of it.
Look at that completion rate, 26 from 30. Remember at half-time it was 18 from 19 sets where they got to their kick. And, with that sort of stat, you're always in for a good afternoon. It's been a very fine opening 60 minutes here for the Orcas, but there is still work to be done.
It's like one of their key makers, Hayden McGalley. He's on the sideline. Might have hurt his ankle or he's limping around. That could be a big blow in this last 20 minutes. And you know that Wellington Orcas have tended to fade in the latter stages of a couple of their games. So it's going to be a really interesting Last 20 minutes, though.
I'll tell you what, it's really up to the likes of Hayden Davis and Patrick Mutalino leading from the front. You've got Moses Marsoe off the field now. And generally, when you take off a player with his stature, your team tends to drop. So let's see how well they get back on the bike.
Well, as we've already said, they've been well drilled, the Orcas. They've been down somewhat at times through the season in size and experience, but they're playing cleverly at the moment. And don't forget also the big show covering domestic rugby league, where you get a dose of all of the Bartercard Cup action. 10 o'clock Tuesdays on Māori television. It is the boil-up show. And the boys will be on. I think this week's guest, Jason Lowry.
Yeah, we've got Jason Lowry, the coach of the North Harbour team, coming in for boil-up this week. So don't forget to watch it, all your latest and greatest news on the Bartercard Cup and the New Zealand rugby league scene. And Te Ari Maipi, co-host of the boil-up show, or our main host, will be picking his fantasy team. That's fantasy. Bartercard Cup team, not fantasy.
Well, pretty ordinary kick there from Willie Heta.
It was. Although maybe they will be able to get something out of nothing. Here's Leavar gets the ball. They've got numbers. Leavar pops it on, and the Richie Johnson.
That one's gone forward, guys.
That was a chance.
Just nothing going right for the Titans.
No, it doesn't seem to be their day, but I mean, they've got time to come back if they've got the goods. This is a real test for them. As you can see, Hayden McGilly doesn't look like he'll be back on this afternoon.
Yeah, hopefully he's all right. The youngster had an outstanding game so far in this match. There we go. The ball gets down, flicked out the back, picked up there by the centre, flicked out the back again. Josh Leavar picks it up. He got 3 or 4 players. Yeah, they certainly bombed a certain try that time.
I don't know that Richie Johnson was expecting the football. With it now, there's Alejandro Mara. And Mara sorted.
Well, Mara and Collival have been very good today, Richie, in the centres for the Orcas.
Yeah, they have. And Alejandro Mara, I think, has found a good position out in the right-hand centre position instead of the 6. I think they've sorted that out. Now it's a good Fred Turu off Richie Johnson coming in for his renowned big hits.
Good work, mate. Marcus Square.
Hayden Davis, he likes it, rough and tough. Ben Mutalino probably hasn't had the opportunities that we're used to seeing for him. But his teammates, while he's been closed down somewhat, his teammates have been making good inroads, none more so than Marcy Marsoy, as that one finds touch. Just a couple of metres out from the try line, and it'll be a blue feed, 10 out from their own line.
Yeah, another good tactic from the Wellington Orcas. Ben Taraki really taking the leadership role, being the general out there for the Wellington Orcas this afternoon. Hugely impressed with his kicking game, his all-round game, his running game, support play, and actual reading of the match.
Yeah, the number 6 for the Wellington Orcas, Hayden McGilly, we've just heard, has broken his ankle, which is bad news for the Wellington Orcas. He's their kicker, he's their playmaker.
He's their go-to man.
And he's the replacement that Wellington Orcas were looking for. The key man.
In fact, one of the Orcas boys just took a big knock too in that tackle, so it might be thin on numbers. It's Blackwell. Blackwell caught by the jersey and then weaves his way away as pick up. Oh, you've got that player in shot too, as you can see. It looks like he's been shot. He's down, he's hurting. And so now the Tamaki Titans have an opportunity as the players start falling away from the Orcas through injury. Sione Nuila tackled, plays the ball now through centre field. Elijah Taylor dancing with it. Here's Aiden Howard. Howard and Davis. Davis is not 1 metre more. 30 out from the line it is. Picked and fed. Taylor, flat ball, Johnson. Mutalino is there for Johnson. Puts him away too. Turfs him, 20 from the line. 5th and final tackle. Here's Taylor. A scooper over the top. Way to Blackwell. Blackwell has to let it go. He can't. And it'll be a turnover possession. Fine defence, Orcas.
Oh, it was a good defence by the Orcas, but I thought he might have just, Blackwell could have just tipped it on there, and she would have been 2-on-1 out wide. Could have been a try-scoring opportunity.
Yeah, players still down in the background. I think it's Alejandro Mara. We just talked about him earlier. Looks like he's in a bad way. Could be another broken bone, I think. I'm not too sure.
He's well and truly down, T. It doesn't look too flash at all.
Referee still hasn't stopped play. He hasn't seen it.
I think they're just letting the referee know now, and as well they might. Adam Byrne calls a halt to proceedings. This could be a stretcher job as well. He hasn't moved. Looks to be a broken leg, Tawara.
Yeah, no, look, we get a close-up on the player down on the ground there. You know, it looks here in a pretty bad way. Could be another broken leg or ankle. Looks pretty serious there, Richie. What's it like getting injured, mate?
He's talking to this kid, mate. I've got this big. I can't hear him.
Tell you what, it looks like since I'm the man with many injuries, it could possibly be a fibula. A fibula or a
what's that in layman's term? Broken leg.
Just a broken leg.
Pakaru waiwai.
Yep, pakaru.
Okay. We shouldn't make light of it. It'd be real sad for them if they lost 2 players. It looks like Migueli has already broken an ankle. That looks like they're looking at his ankle as well.
Alan Hanamara, we might get a look at a replay, is it? There we go, he's in there, Bushka there.
Oh, well, he might have been his knee, actually.
He's got his knee heavily strapped anyway.
Hyperextended.
Right, have a look. Could be hyperextension. Here is Ali Hanamara. No, Sniper got him.
Sniper.
Richie had a couple of those, you know, sniper shot when you're running and then you just fall down.
Yeah, well, when you're running at that sort of pace,
Hammies or Achilles, was it, Rich?
No, if you're running at that sort of pace, you're going to have to, somehow you're going to have to slow down.
Well, we've got a moment. I'd just like to mihi to all the players for the Canterbury Bulls. Now, for a few years now, they've been supporting the Children's Cancer Ward at Christchurch Hospital. And today, the entire team, are having their heads shaved in Christchurch. And they'll also...
Is that to raise funds, though?
Yes, it is, mate. And sadly, they're having a barbecue with families of the children in the cancer ward. And present for the shaving will be the mum and little brother of young Lani Morell, a 6-year-old girl who passed away late last week. So, you know, if anything reminds you of how lucky we are to be playing this great game, it's to look at tamariki with cancer. And yeah, on your Bulls, well done. They might not look so smart tomorrow when they line up for their match, but
apparently there's a couple of other guys who were shaving something else too, so I just didn't know what they were talking about.
Shaving Bulls.
The Bulls.
Yeah, make sure it is Bulls. Hey, the stretchers come out. We don't want to make light of the injury to Alejandro Mara. We're just singing his praises, actually, weren't we, fellas, saying that the centres have done really well for Wellington, Meli Kulivau, and also Alejandro Mara. But sadly, it looks like he'll be stretched off.
Certainly been a real good feature in this the Orcas pack. I mean, sorry, in the side where we've had the forwards, the backs. We knew the backs were quite speedy, but they didn't have direction, and they certainly have got the forwards now to really. Really go forward and make some real indentations into the defensive line.
Now, while we're there as well, strong enough to be clean, this is a new initiative, and you may see on the Wellington players, some of them are wearing these green rubber bands.
They certainly are.
You know, it's just a push to, I guess, let our rangatahi know, our tamariki know that, hey, sport's here to be played, and you don't need to be mixing up stuff to make you play better. Clean and green. Strong enough to be clean.
Yeah, certainly, that's right. Just while we've got a bit of break in time, boil up. Don't forget to watch at 10 p.m. Tuesday. Our guest this week, Jason Lowry from the North Harbour team, and the meanest, leanest Māoria sports show going around Code 8:30 p.m. where you catch up all the greatest and the latest sports stars.
Talking about free zone, there was a bit of a interruption there early on with this burst of gas from Tāwera.
That's all those kinders we had, bro. Hey, too much, brother. Well, let's hope that...
we thought we were in Wellington, actually, but thought it was an earthquake.
I thought it was Rotorua.
Well, here we are. I hope the Alejandro Mara has a speedy recovery.
Yeah, we'll see if we can get some info about that on your behalf. Right, 14 minutes to play. Here's Hayden Davis. Loves it tough up the middle. There's Hayden Davis. Fourth tackle, 40 out from the line. Davis plays it. Short side, skinny side. Now it's with Matulino. Takes 3 or 4 to stop him. Good momentum, good leg drive. Pushing him forward an extra 10 metres. He'll play at 42 out from the line.
Yeah, good work there from Ben Mortolino. And again, Taraika. Lovely little darting kicks. Well placed. It's been a feature of the game, Taraika's kicking game. And that's a good burst there from the Tamaki Titans.
This is Atalia. Never delay. Atalia, has he got the wheels? He's been well chased and he will get there. Superb effort. And the young Otahu-based player does extremely well and runs it in from 60-odd metres. That try came out of nowhere.
Yeah, it certainly came out of the Atalia Natalafai. Great work there by the youngster to get the ball from the kick. And the players in the Wellington Orcas were called offside by the referee. As we see here, he is, grabs the ball, does a great comes back at speed, goes straight through the line. Went straight past the centre there, the number 4. Melikolivel missed him and he went.
He reminds me of a bit of Clinton Torpy, the way he runs actually. His hairstyle also.
And he runs on the angle to get the points.
Pace. Let's have another look at this. Good presence of mind. Run across and then sensing the gap. Boom! Afterburners and good fend, Dardai. And look at the pace. Good running style.
The fine young talent was played in the Otahu Sevens squad earlier on. He's another one of these 19-year-old guys I've watched develop since he was about 9 or maybe even younger than that, Atalia. Good kid, good attitude to sport, and a fine finisher. From out wide, William Heta raises the flags and the hopes of the Titans. 32 to the Orcas, 26.
This would be a concern for Paul Bergman, the coach of the Wellington Orcas. Does he get Mossy Masoi back out on the field? They had a few changes, but on the replay here he is. Good style running, nice, relaxed. Sucking that wind in through the nose, blowing it out through the cheeks, Richie. Good relaxed running
good
style.
relaxed style, mate. In through the nose, out the mouth. Knees high. Looking out towards the supporters in the stand. You know,
Waving
just waving as you.
There is Dean Clark there.
It.
Just wondering if his side can hang on for another 11 minutes. Can they get back into the game?
Now remember, they're down by 8 points, so they need to score twice. Leva lays it back to Elijah Taylor. Taylor, 20 out from the line. Well, we saw a superb finish at the end of last week's match. If you recall that, the Lions taking a 30-26 lead with minutes to go. Last second of the match.
Can they do it again, Dale? Can they come back? Can it be very exciting like it was last week?
Let's hope so. We were bouncing around here like guys on pogo sticks at the end of the match last week.
No, that was me just moving the
whole stadium.
Short side run. Far side, Richie Johnson. Johnson's good. Can't get through this time. The tackle and commitment from Carnegie. Solid. Cutout ball. Hitter. First receiver. Now to Blackwell. Over the top. Leava puts it down and they will pack the scrum down.
Well, he's actually got some butter on his hands or something today, old Josh Leava. He's having a bit of made a couple of errors in crucial times.
Yeah, Isaac Lear. They look good too because they were spread right across the field. They had and it was just basically butterfingers. They had a couple out wide. I'd like to see the set finished and completed.
10.5 minutes to go. They're trying to go underneath them. A borrowing run goes Meli Kulebo. Tim Cahill again comes in off the wing. A lot to like about his play. He's considerate as far as his forwards are concerned. Not much of them. What you do see is full of heart by the looks of things. Tim Cahill, up the middle they go. Holes almost opened up for Dexter Buchanan. He'll play it on the 20-metre line. Now he'll play it back for McNamara. Looking for runners. There is a hole. Here is Taraka. Stepping, driving to the line. Taraka is in. Fantastic.
Taraka, the weaving, taking it to the line as he has throughout this game. To the line, shaping the pass, shaping the kick. But he goes through the gap and scores a wonderful try, probably the try of the match.
Certainly was. It's excellent stuff from Ben Tareka. Head and shoulders above a lot of the other players on the field today. Here, Tangata, he's the man today, on fire. Ben Tareka leading his troops. As we see on the replay, he gets the ball, shapes, 2 hands, goes, slices through the line like hot butter through knife. Hot knife through butter. Speaking of food, I always get mixed up when I talk about that. But here he is.
Almost all your analogies are related to food. Let's have a look here. Look, he's been playing at number 1 for a few weeks. This time they put him back to his 7. I think that's where he's more potent.
Oh, absolutely. He gets the ball when he likes. He directs. And when he directs, he demands the ball. He's got a lovely kicking game, so I guess number 7's a perfect position for him.
There is a referee, Paul Bergman, a bit of concern on his face. Can we hold out for another 10 minutes? 8 minutes, 44 seconds to go in this game. Geez, Dean Clark, the coach, what's he thinking after last week's episode, Dale, coming back on today?
Well, I think he'll be disappointed with his team. I mean, Willie Hetcher, who's been one of the most brilliant ball players in the competition, he's been he hasn't been seen really today.
I guess when you're completing at 50% and you haven't got the ball, well, you can't do much when you're a ball player.
Possession still 55%. This doesn't go 10 metres, and so another mistake.
can you tell from the
Problems compounding for the Titans, making it more and more difficult for themselves.
You don't have to come up with the miracle plays when you've got 8 minutes. It's a long time in rugby league to come back.
They must score twice. So I think that they could play fairly conservatively here and lock down the game, I would think. I'm not sure that they will, but they could. Just, you know, one-off runs, drive, kick away at the end of the set. Let's have a look at their completions once again. It's been absolutely outstanding from Wellington as far as control is concerned. It's not often that you see a team has 34 sets and controlled and completed 30 of them. Very fine effort from the Wellingtonians.
Yeah, that's about around 90%. About 90% that is, so that's an excellent completion rate for the Wellington Orcas.
And a solid game, stuck to the game plan, well drilled. Getting some good combinations working together. It's been a very, very classy display from the Orcas. Cut out ball, Kulevo now, stepping back into the traffic, underneath the tackle of Howard, down on the 10-metre line. The downside of their wonderful performance today, injuries to Ngele and Mata, as a grubber kick comes back into the hands of Taraki. He's in again! He is in again!
Taraki on fire. He looked like he was actually trying to kick the ball and hit the post, and it's hit the foot of the Tamaki Titans player, rebounded off, and geez, he deserves everything he gets today because he's been the man of the match for my liking.
Oh, certainly has a great kid with a big future. They're talking about Elijah Taylor, the halfback for the Tamaki Titans, but this man today, Tareka, has played all over him, been outstanding attack, defence, marshalling his troops, generalising his troops, and outstanding stuff. Good on you, Ben Tareka.
That's his third try, Tawara.
He's got a hat-trick today.
He's got a hat-trick.
Oh, unbelievable. Good skills there too. And it's hard because you go to kick the ball and the first thing is your reaction. See this, bang, straight back into his hands. Left foot step, bang, one hand over the line.
And there's hard eye too there, T.
Also spoke about there too, Richie. Exactly.
Well, it's about giving yourself an opportunity. The grubber kick was clever thinking in its own right. Johnson plays at it, bounce, favours Tareka. And he's there to pounce on another try. Fantastic effort from the youngster. Right, looking to add the extras. Willie Kortua. And he does exactly that. Still some footy to play this weekend if you're around the country. Counties Manukau Jets line up against the Lions tomorrow at Papakura, 2:30 kick-off. Waikawa Bay Stallions against the Northern Storm. That's been played at Rest Hills Park.
Yes, I'm going to watch that game tomorrow. I'll be down there doing a bit of reporting and snooping around, just watching the Waikawa Bay Stallions against the Northern Storm.
And good luck to the Bulls and the Waitakere Rangers, who also play tomorrow at Rugby League Park in Christchurch. Well, disappointed bench as we count down towards the last 5 minutes of the match. Well, this will certainly put a shot in the arm for Bergman and his team from Wellington. Coming into the match, they had knocked over a top 5 team. Well, they've got that hoodoo off their back, Richie.
They certainly have, and you've got Tareka playing the way he is. You'd be a very happy man going into the second half of the season with their forwards that they've got in their backs. I'm just a bit concerned about Hayden Miguel with his injury. And Alejandro Mata is also so.
Look at him go again. I mean, how good has this guy been today?
Oh.
Just superb. And a little knock on. Well, but while he's in flight, I mean, what a sight it is. Musi Masoi making inroads at will.
Well, certainly he was making inroads at will. He's like a big steamroller. Look at him just go straight through the line. Bushka. See you later. Get out of the way, Boaza.
Oh, there he is. A little
get the old ankle tap and there, the old touch, ankle tap, touch.
20 out, scrum feed now for the Titans, 4 minutes to play. 42-24, it hasn't just been a win, it has been a comprehensive win.
The line breaks in favour of the Orcas, 11-7.
Been a dominant performance right from the opening whistle today. They were playing against the wind. They had no right to be taking a lead into half-time. They did. And they've turned around and they've kept it going. The Orcas have got a few challenges ahead. They're at home to the Jets next week. Then they host the competition leaders, the Lions, before taking on the Northern Storm. So certainly give them some confidence. Down the far side goes Siofale. Scored one try for the Titans, but the defensive work of the Orcas strong enough to keep him at bay for the most part. Heta turns it back up on the inside, finds Tudu Whenua. Tudu Whenua keeps his balance and gets it back to Heta, who keeps the ball alive on the far side of the field. Is it Jason Toe who gets there?
Jeff
Jeff Ruaporo is just scored.
Fair try. Late try.
What a sensational try, and you must take your hat off to Salil Tuafuio.
Who's it, Richie?
Yeah, that's it. And have a look at this. Have a look at this.
Salil Tuafuio.
Inside ball. And bust through the tackle. And that little offload he loves to give. And look at that from Willie Heta. Throw around from behind and flick. Look at that. A good presence of mind to be there, Jeff Ruaporo.
Yeah, a little bit too late, but a great try nonetheless. Jeff Ruaporo, ever present. Number 13 for the Tamaki Titans. Gets the ball. Oh, his leg might have been over the try line. But we don't have the courtesy of video referee here. Then the missed kick too, so Jeff Ruaporo scoring a try for the Tamaki Titans.
Well, if there's been a highlight this afternoon, guys, it's the big man in full flight. Salil Tuafuio has been just wonderful when he's had that ball in hand. And when you team him up with Musi Masoy, there's been heaps to like about that strong forward running, the basis of many wins, and it's worked really well for the Wellington Orcas today. It's been a really fine performance from them.
It certainly has been a great performance, but what about the talent that we've got in the bartercard cup? You know, look at the players that we've got here. You know, it's just unbelievable, the talent that we watch every week in, week out. Ben Taraika, Mosi Masoy, you know, Elijah Taylor. Geez, there's some fantastic players out there.
Yeah, I've heard many people compare them with other competitions. There's, of course, the Jim Beam in the Metropolitan Cup over in Sydney. You know, many saying that the standard is not as good as it is here in bartercard. You've got the Queensland Cup competition as one. That might be another one to compare it with, Richie.
Yeah, I think the players that we've got in the competition, I think it's a good standard, a high standard for the amount of times they train. And I think it's commendable that the coaches that have put all the work into these players, and they're performing at a very good standard, as you can see here from today.
Yeah, well, obviously it's not full-time training. It's not professional football. It's more like amateur. At times, you know, some of the players might receive a little putea for their efforts, but I'm sure none of them in bartercard are playing it for the money. Richie Johnson gets the ball centre field, gets it onto Aidan Howard. Howard juggles with the football for a moment and has his run halted about 48 metres out from the try line. Just playing for pride now, the Titans, but they've got some work to do, and no doubt Coach Dean Clark will be giving it to them Tuesday, Thursday. They should have won this game. But remember the squad last year. Blackwell finds a little hole. Blackwell keeps it alive for Taylor. Taylor, 15 out from the line now. Sliding into dummy half, Jason Toe. Can they score one to wrap up the match as it goes through the hands of Heta? Heta finds Johnson. Johnson on the far side. Ruaporo, and a dive for the corner. Four, says the referee. Siofale looks up to see if he scored. Referee says, net, nada. Here comes Johnson. Johnson goes. Johnson drives.
5.
Then he comes up against the roadblock. Play the ball now. Siofale. Heta, first receiver. Elijah Taylor, he's been clever. Offload, good try up the middle. Wonderful finish. James Blackwell's in underneath the posts.
Yeah, good work there from the Tamaki Titans. Oh no, it's gone forward. No try there though.
Excuse me then.
I actually thought the pass, two passes before that looked forward. So maybe that was the call from the sideline.
Yeah, you got to think you got a call from the touchy on the sideline there.
Adam Burns had a good game.
Let's have a look at this.
Penalties, 5-all.
Pass.
That's always a good sign. So the Orcas take the victory by 42 points to 28 as we get a replay of the try that wasn't. And for the Tamaki Titans, the game that got away from them. Congratulations to Phil Bergman and his team from Wellington. They deserve their victory. They've been very good from start to finish. And that puts a little spice into the table, team.
Certainly does put a bit of spice into the table. Great to see that this is the first game that the Wellington Orcas have beat one of the top 5 sides, so good on them. Congratulations to Paul Bergman. Congratulations to Ben Tareka, who was outstanding. Also, Mosi Masoy for them. But the big work around there, Hayden Davis up front and Patrick Martelino laid the foundation, and some great supporting roles by their backs, especially Ben Tareka and Hayden Melageli.
These are nice shots. We're lucky to be right in the huddle with the victors.
Muscles on 3. 1, 2, 3. Go! Oh, fuck it.
And that last one for their mate, who looks as though he might have broken his ankle. and taking us right into the huddle. We'll get a chance to analyse the performances and we'll come back. But it's the Orcas Day at Taraki Pai Whenua. Back in a moment.